Hello, my sexy muffins, and welcome back to another Patreon request video. This Patreon request is for Beneath a Moonless Sky. Let me look up what part we're on. Part 5, chapters 10 and beyond, and we'll see how far we get. We're going to start off with chapter 10. If we hit any not safe for work stuff, that will have to be a private Patreon stuff, but this is for Patreon. Sorry if you hear my fan or blinds going in the background. I don't know why. It's probably medication, but at night I get overheated like a rotisserie chicken, like I am cooking from the inside and being roasted alive, which is not really happening, but I sweat profusely. Oh my goodness. So I need my fan on and it's knocking my blinds a bit. So I apologize. I will try to edit that out if I can. Now, first off, if you want to check out the previous videos, go check them out. I will have them linked somewhere here, or linked at 1 minute mark. But also, if you want to check those out, check out the first one. The Not Safe for Work won't be on there, obviously, but all that good stuff. And yeah, you can check out the story and read along if you want. I will have the link to the story, read along, and all that good stuff. Also, this was written by Gav Imp and Wicked Brony, who are my patrons as well, and asked for this video as their Patreon request. And yes, they are getting it. And they have it for their video of what they wanted, and they've created this story, so they get full credit for the story. Also, full art credit to Gav Imp, or just Gav, as she is known on Patreon. She created all the artwork for this and has given me permission to use it, which I use for other videos as well, not just the Patreon videos. I got permission, though. If you want to use her art, ask her permission. If she says no, do not use it. You have to respect the art creator's stuff and all that, and always give credit no matter what. Anyways, I am giving credit as such. And if they say no, you don't use it. Okay, so that's that. Now let's get on to the video. Disclaimer. Disclaimer number 1. This is a fan fiction and not to be taken seriously at all. It is created by Gav Imp and Wicked Brony on Archive of Our Own, and it is a fanfic of if Abel and Jack Bright, and mine is a read-in of it and all that good stuff and such. Disclaimer number 2. Jack Bright and Abel are not a canon couple. This is just for fun and not to be taken seriously at all. Simping for fictional characters and fictional yanderes is fine, and shipping them is fine as well, as long as you're not illegal or gross about it. You know who you are. Also, do not go throw hate at anyone, because that is just rude and you are despicable if you do that. Anyways, and disclaimer number 3, this is an alpha, beta, omega verse. All that stuff. And as the alpha, beta, omega verse and all that stuff is that Jack Bright is an omega and Abel is an alpha, but Jack Bright can also be an alpha or a beta. Depends on what physical body he has. Most of the time he is right now in the story, he's an omega, and that's where he's staying. He did not get unalived by Abel. He became his own SCP without Abel in the situation. This is basically an AU, an alternate universe, basically, and that's what is going on and all that good stuff. Now, the last disclaimer. Disclaimer, we do not support Admin Bright at all. Admin Bright is a piece of poo, and Jack Bright, or Jackie Bright, aka the gender bent version we do of Jack Bright, where she was assigned female at birth, but Jack Bright is no longer a self-insert of him. More people have added to his character and all that in the fandom, so he's more of a standalone character now. He is no longer associated with Admin Bright. Very much separate the creation from the creator type of thing. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoy this, and sorry for the super long intro. Anyways, let's do this. This is me reading it raw, and also to remind everyone, I had surgery as a minor, where my brain got a little scrambled because somehow it got messed up where speech, like I can read fine in my head, but when I read out loud and project it or write it down or type it, I have poo grammar, I speed read, and I trip over my own words like I'm illiterate. And sometimes I do that even just speaking without reading something. My tongue just ties around itself for no reason. So anyways, let's do this. Hey, I got the file, you. Give me that! Bright yanked the file out of his pack brother's hand, going to the first page, where he saw the picture of the entity. His eyes widened. Frick! He mumbled. Frick, frick, frick! They're obviously using the swear word F word, but I cannot say that too much because of a YouTube. Mind filling me in on what the hell this is about? Bright stopped and stared at Clef, biting the inside of his cheek. Then with a sigh, he looked around. This stays between us. Got it? Clef nodded, miming the act of zipping his lips for good measure. Good. So, last night, yes. Bright rubbed the back of his neck. I was alone, and then I wasn't. And Alpha approached me, and he smelled really nice. And, he blushed. Okay, so you had a one-night stand. With you so far. He was gone in the morning, and I thought that was it. But, sorry, I skipped a line. And I thought that was it. Bright covering his mouth with his hand. Oh my goodness, that was way too difficult. But, what do you mean, Clef asks. Well, Bright trailed off, then showed a picture of 076. Why are you showing me that? Because suddenly clicked in Clef's mind. Wait, are you saying you slept with him? Bright blushed, then nodded. Did you want to? Another nod, silence between them for a long while. A long, long while. Is he any good? Clef asks. Clef would, though. He would so ask that. Seriously? Bright went from embarrassed to angry in a flash. What? You can't blame me for being curious. He's an attractive alpha. In this universe, Clef is an Omega as well, and very much a switch Omega, so he can be a top as well. But he's an Omega. And he's a monster of a man. So he has to have a monster of a... I'm not discussing that with you, Bright says. Okay. So you slept with Abel, and you didn't know he was SCP-076. I never been assigned to his case, Jack stressed. More like you hate being taken off at More like you hate being taken off SCP's 682's case. That thing trapped me in the fucking neck. Excuse me. Sorry, I got way into it. YouTube, do not strike me. I will clear that out. That thing trapped me in this frickin' necklace, Bright said, holding up the amulet that housed his conscience. Okay, so they made it so SCP-682 made Jack Bright immortal instead of SCP-076. Okay, I now understand what happened. It's personal, and it's still, you expect me to be familiar with every god dang SCP we have on record? Well, you're familiar with SCP-076 now, probably more than I am, intimately so. Shut up. I can't believe it. My brother slept with SCP-076. Shut up! Man, how it feel that to know you've knocked me out of the position of pack member with the worst adult fun time partner. Shut the actual frick up! Clef laughed. No, I'm not going to shut the frick up. This is going to be our little inside joke, Clef said, grinning. Sorry, I'm adding a few things because my brain just won't stop that. It is my creative brain, and I can't help it. I am sorry, Gav. I am sorry, Wicked Brony. I am a piece of poo. Anyways, back to the story. Bright scowled. This stays between us. No, yeah, I get it. Who would want to admit that? Clef nodded to himself. But hey, at least you get it out of your system, right? Bright groaned. I guess. Also, side note, in this universe, Clef and Kadraki are were adult time fun partners, and I do not know if they're mated at this point, but they were probably mated at some point, or could be mated at some point. Anyways, back to the story. There you are, Clef patted Bright's back. He's back into containment now. Not like this. Nothing like this will happen again. Or so you think. The plot bunnies are plot bunnying. Now we're on to chapter 11. It did, in fact, happen again. This started when the agent whose name has been redacted from official files ended up unalived in an explosion during a mission against one of the enemies of the Foundation. Upon hearing the story, Abel stopped his wrathful state and limits of the loss of such worthy opponents. From him, a fellow Alpha, he dared to see his equal, one of the few he's met in ages. A man like that deserves to die, be unalived in combat, so close to the opponent he can feel his breath. Not in some frickin' destruction ordered by cowardly kings and princes safe in their palaces. The rest of you, SCP-076-2 spits against the researcher who's interviewing him. You disgust me. I don't even have the urge to strike you down. This allowed SCP Foundation to see the full potential of Abel at their side. And that's why the people who created the project, led by Dr. Maria Jones, gave the okay for a new mobile task force, Omega 7, also known as Pandora's Box. They knew this was a risky move, as Abel could be unpredictable, and they're willing to assume the risks in the project, as the enemies are on the move again, and they need all the support they could. All the support they could. There we go. Even from someone as hostile as like SCP-076-2, they took him from different. They take him from different missions in different places around the world, and end in success each of. Oh God, my tongue! And end in success in each one of them. That's a weird sentence. The generals who approved the project are proud of the results, even if some researchers are hesitant about continuing, fearing that they could eventually run out of missions and Abel become impatient if they don't prove him missions, like give him missions. Okay. The Foundation sees him just as a murderous entity who has the contempt for humans beings and will unalive them on sight, a true sociopath, incapable of things of love, adult fun time, and equality. For him, those concepts were irrelevant, but unknown to all his handlers and the ones aware of his risky project, Abel has a secret, something he didn't think about finding out again when Omega 7 arrived at Site 19 for the rest. While the group were discussing the possibility of adding SCP-105 in their group, Abel suddenly walked away. Where are you going, SCP-076-2? Commander Kamarov will go with. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Screamed when he noticed he was walking through the door. You don't have permission to leave. Don't worry, Commander. I'll just see something. I'll be back in an hour. You better, otherwise I'll detonate your collar you're wearing. Abel just nods and leaves the room. Following the scent, he thought about not finding again the sweet scent that plagued his mind, making him something else he couldn't recognize, but he can't help it. He needs to find him. His body his own body and heart demands it. Until he reached the door in an empty hallway, the scent was strong here. Inside, Jack Bright was casually reading a book, at first unaware of what was going on. Then his heart stops and stands up. No, no way, that smell again. The door flew open, and the huge figure of SCP-06-2, Abel, entered the room, not wearing a coat, instead a tunic with the logo of the Omega 7 on his shoulder. Bright turned to see him, his eyes open in shock, his own heart beating furiously in his chest. Is this a joke? Is this the most twisted joke in the whole world? At first, his body reacts to the presence. How? Bright mutters in fury. How dare you come here, invading my life to claim me now? Abel closes the door behind him once again, unable to find the will to kill, to unalive and get this over with. As much as it infuriates him, he feels an intense longing for this Omega, the SCP researcher who had turned his world upside down. He could not get away from him. Oh, Jack Bright whispers. He whispers and approaches and cups his face. My Jack Bright. Abel. Sorry, my throat got caught up. Abel, Bright responded, and despite his own anger, leaned against him, feeling his strong body against his own. Don't deny what we did that night, Abel says. Bright nods his head silently, unable to deny it. That night. ... Anyways, that will be it for the video. I hope that you all enjoyed this. And let me see how long the video is. Okay, that's a pretty good amount. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you would like to see more, I will probably do another one, but I think we're leading up to a not safe for work chapter in the next one, so that'll be a Patreon only one. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this. If you would like to see more, comment below, and I will do my best to continue. If there's any of the other Jack Bright or Jackie Bright or Abel or Kane or any of those SCPs with Jack or Jackie Bright or with Clef and Kondraki, comment below which ones you would like to see me continue, and I most likely will do them. Anyways, that's that. I hope y'all enjoyed. Patreon outro now. Thank you, Gav, for being the artist of this and my first Patreon. You are wonderful. You are beautiful. You are fabulous. Thank you, Gav. You are wonderful, beautiful, fabulous, all that good stuff, and a talented artist, and I love your artwork, and I'm so happy you let me use it. And I'm also so happy that you're my first patron and my top tier patron. Thank you. And thank you, Wicked Brony, for being my second patron. You are wonderful, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you, Wicked Brony. And I hope that you all enjoyed this. If you would like to see more of this stuff, comment below. I will also be doing at least one Patreon public video, because another one is going to be not safe for work stuff, but it's going to be a Christmas theme one with Jack Bright and Abel. Abel, yeah, I think those are it. And it's going to be at least them in a Christmas one, possibly as Kane as well. I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe Kane as well. And they will be doing all that stuff. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this once again. And I hope that you all have great holidays. And stay sexy, all my sexy muffins. Bye-bye. Secret outro time. Secret outro time. Secret outro time. Secret outro. Welcome to the secret outro. Now, if you were in this situation, would you have leaned into Abel? Yes or no? Comment below and stay sexy, all my sexy muffins. Bye-bye.